you both make Scary look so good. So I have to ask you, why do you think that you both gravitate to such spooky and thriller-like scripts?
I mean, I just gravitate to good scripts and good creative teams. I feel like I'm not really I think you do love horror, like you've done so much more than I have, but I feel like for me it's more like, is the character interesting? Is it a challenge for me? Who are the people that I'm going to be working with? Do I admire them and are they good people? And that's what will drive me into a project. And this specific these two last Scream movies had the best people in them. And so I was like, no brainer.
I would say it's the same process for me as well. What I will say about working on a horror set is because I feel like it's a passion project for a lot of people because you don't necessarily have to have a massive budget to make a good horror film. Anything can be scary. I think that, people who are doing the special effects on a horror project are doing special effects because they loved horror films growing up. I feel like everyone is really passionate about the genre, which makes it all that much more exciting when, the blood splats in the right spot or, when the fire ignites
Definitely.
the way you want it to. So I think there's something really exciting and almost childlike about the experience. But also, yeah, it's just very cathartic screaming.
Yes. And speaking of the cast, I absolutely love the cast. I think it's just so genuine. Like you guys feed off each other. The core four, I live for. But I have to ask, who in real life is your four core that you think that, or your core four that you think you could fight against a real life Ghostface? Like who are your four members that you're duking this Ghostface out with?
I mean, I'm pretty confident about this core four.
Yeah, I don't know.
I feel like this core four is pretty badass. Like we could take him down.
I think so too.
And then
Between like Jenna's brains and Mason's muscles.
Actually, I was considering either sacrificing myself or Mason and allowing your dog Rambo to take this.
she threw a dog in the.
That is like the meanest.
Fiercest,
Yeah,
meanest.
he's tough. I'm scared.
Yeah.
And then also Sam in the movie, I feel like in both films, although she's running away from her family ties, it seems to save her every time. Do you think that maybe Sam will be our next Ghostface?
I mean, anything can happen, right?
Would you be living for a villain era?
I mean, I feel like villains are the most fun to play. I've only ever played Rizzo in Grease and as the villain, and it was the most fun I've ever had on a stage. So I would be so down, but I don't know what the writers have in mind.
And then my last question right before we head out is I love the sister dynamic. It's very relatable. What was your most memorable time together on set? Favorite time together?
Um,
There's
that's
so
so
many.
yeah, that's so hard. I feel
The
uh,
bodega was special.
Bodega was special. The hanging from the
That was
Balcony.
railing
my
yeah,
favorite. That
was
was my
really, really
favorite.
special.
Because
That
it's so like it's so genius to be able to set up the you have to let me go into
Yes.
an actual you have to let me go.
Yeah.
It's like such a beautiful
Yeah.
arc thing.
Yeah, I think so too. It's also the first time where we fully trust one another,
One
which I think
another.
is a really big pivotal moment
You
for this.
guys came together and kicked ass. I absolutely love you both, Jenna and Melissa. Big fans of you both, and congratulations. So Mindy cracks me up in the movie. So I have to ask you, of course, do you have your own like fandom of a franchise outside of Scream?
A fan? Do I have that I'm a big fan of?
Yes.
Broadway musicals.
Me
You know what
too.
my Super Bowl was? This year, or well, last year's revival of Into the Woods. Did you go see that?
I didn't. And I work down the block from it. I see it every day. The sign. I know.
Girl,
I know.
it was iconic.
Is it still
Truly
there?
my Super Bowl.
Is it gone?
I'm
Wow.
pretty sure it's gone. It was.
And
it
the
was-
core four is my favorite. I mean, I love the name, the core
Oh.
four, and you guys are genuinely like you could feel the relationship on camera. So who do you think is your core four in real life that you can battle against a ghost face with? Like who are you choosing?
Jasmine's coming with. for
Mason will be
sure.
there. Look at those arms.
Okay, good, great. So
They're
we're in
fast.
agreement.
You know, Jenna, she's about this tall, so she could dive under.
That's right. That's
the
right.
Ghostface
Oh, she's getting away real quick.
outfit, so she's there.
And then
And Melissa, she kicks butt.
Melissa for sure. Is that cheating if we do the same exact core
No,
four?
because you know what? It's giving very much alignment and in sync because they said the same thing. They chose you guys along with I think Melissa's dog too. They're
I
like,
was
throw
about to
Rambo.
say that. I was going to add
Excellent.
in. She comes with the dogs, and those dogs are crazy.
Yeah.
So I love the response. So Scream 6 obviously pays homage to all of the different generations of Ghostface. And I'm not sure if you guys, previous to being on the set, actually watched all of them. But if you did, who is your favorite Ghostface you think thus far?
Mrs. Loomis, easy. That's hilarious.
Ah,
Shooting people in a power suit for her
I like
son.
that.
Excellent. Hilariously appropriate. And I loved it. Every second of it. 10 out of 10.
It's a very strong answer.
Yeah.
I like that one. Okay. And then my last question for you is before we wrap up is now that you guys are a part of a legacy, I mean, they brought back Courtney Cox, they brought back Hayden Panettiere. And I mean, obviously, if there's going to be other ones coming, do you think the next nemesis for you guys could possibly be one of your core four members?
I would be so sad. That would be iconic, but sad. I don't know what the justification would be, to be honest.
This is me speaking candidly. That would be so heartbreaking. Like that would be
really heartbreaking. I know people have been wanting it to be Mindy. A lot of people on Twitter and on Reddit and stuff have been like, it's definitely Mindy. And I'm kind of offended.
Really?
She's so obsessed. I mean, you could see it. All of them are fans and obsessed with the overall Scary Movie. So I think that too.
Wow.
Okay.
Well, thank you so much, guys, for your time. Congratulations. And I had such a great time talking to you. So I have to ask you, what did you pour into your character to make yourself a different Ghostface than the other generation of Ghostfaces?
Gosh, I don't know. I think it is pretty satisfying, since we're speaking freely, that, usually the Ghostface, I know Laurie Metcalf, but the Ghostface was always like a peer, like a young,
Right.
Or like the friend that you thought you trust. That was always such a good trick in Scream. So I think it's a little bit, they set it up a little bit where it's unexpected that it'd be the older guy, right?
Yes.
In a way. Certainly it helped that Dewey was so steadfast and reliable, never did it, was always a little, small towny. And now we have a cop who seems like he's a little bit more in charge.
Right.
That was a good trick too, by the filmmakers, to take 5 movies to set up a cop.
Yes.
So he could be the bad guy. There's so much that I didn't have to do to put into my character. Of course, what he did have to do, if you have to think about it, he had to collect all that stuff.
Yes, I was like,
the knives and the shirts and the thing, and he'd have to ship them. Imagine the cost in those sort of antique display cases from Woodsboro all the way to New York City. They'd explain how he rented out the theater and put in their other name and all that, but still, just think of the hours.
That was insane.
Yeah.
I loved it.
The extent that family went to process their grief.
Exactly. And so
Very
that's why
extreme.
I have to ask you. So the core four, I mean, they kicked ass as much as they possibly could, along with you and your children in the film. So if you had to pick your core four in real life to battle against a Ghostface, who are you choosing?
Well, I have 4 siblings, so it'd have to be core 5, and it'd be Sean and Connor and Kieran and Maura. That's just the go-to.
I love that response because, I mean, what's better than family? Like you said, you mess with my family.
That's right. That's right. He does say that.
So also, Scream 6 obviously has a bunch of storytelling and adding all the generations, bringing back Hayden and Courtney Cox. And I just absolutely love that. So who do you think could possibly be the next Ghostface if there is another Scream?
Gosh, I don't know. I sure hope there's more Screams. And
right.
I don't know. I can't guarantee it. I don't know how those things work, but man,
I'm betting on Mindy.
I can't even. I mean, we just jokingly think of so many spin-offs. I had a great idea for Scream 5.5, but I don't think the pitch really worked. Like what happened with the Baileys before. Yeah. But that's what Scream does. It has people wondering, guessing they're wrong. They're led the wrong way. It's so satisfying when it does reveal. And I think in Scream 6, you just don't see it coming.
You just don't see it coming. Thank
So
you
good.
so much for your time. I adored you in this movie. It was
Thank
awesome.
you. Thank you so much,
Have a
Dante.
good one.
Thank you. Bye.